we.CONECT, and we are here at the SAMS USA 2018. Welcome. Could you please introduce yourself?
My name's Hugh Skingley. I'm a pre-sales consultant at Livingstone Technologies.
So, what makes Livingstone's service so special and different from other solution providers?
Well, Livingstone's what we call a technology-enabled managed service. So we actually combine technology and people and processes in one nice service wrapper. So the technology itself we own and manage ourselves as well. So we're slightly different in that it's a technology set that we built internally. We don't rely on third-party tool providers. And behind that whole approach, where there's some really key differentiators. We're independent, which means we don't sell software, we don't sell SAM tools, so it positions us really nicely in the marketplace. And we're also data agnostic, so we don't require our customers to have SAM tools or things in place. We're very good at coming in and working with what they actually got and turning that into real sort of outputs against a nice service contract.
Okay, so what do you see as the main challenges of SAM?
It's an interesting question. I mean, some of the challenges are the same. I mean, SAM's always been a governance problem. It's always been about process more than the tools and technologies, but unfortunately the tool vendors have kind of hijacked that whole dialogue, and people struggle still to focus more on the governance than on the technology side of things. And unfortunately, that's led to a challenge that we're seeing a lot in the marketplace at the moment, in that a lot of the tools and maybe the standard approach to SAM has failed a little bit. There's been a lot of over-promising in the marketplace, and customers are coming to us now with RFPs and requests to actually help them, almost save them from a position where they've gone down a particular path and maybe it hasn't worked out, maybe they've been oversold, over-promising. So those challenges have always been around, but the new world is about cloud, it's about migration, and it's about even sort of beyond cloud, we're moving into interesting things like containers and microservices. So it's continuing to evolve, but people need to remember it's still all about governance.
And how do you plan on supporting your clients in tackling these challenges?
Well, the nice thing about Livingstone is, as I said, it's a technology-enabled managed service, so it's not just about the technology. There's people and processes internally that allow us to be flexible. So what you get with us is you get a layer of expertise, licensing expertise, SAM expertise that gets applied to the service. So we learn from our customers, and we can kind of cross-fertilize the information we get. So if one customer's got a particular issue with some kind of new approach to technology, software as a service, containers, we can learn about that internally and share that knowledge across the whole piece. So our customers kind of benefit from that. It's not what I call SAM in a can. It's not just a tool and a person. It's a kind of a whole range of people that are brought together to deliver a service.
Are there any key projects that you have been working on recently that you can maybe tell me a little bit more about?
Well, there's always lots of projects going on in Livingstone to do with optimization, risk mitigation, audit defense, that kind of thing. But for me personally, I've been working with customers and potential customers to understand the total cost of a SAM operation. So we have a total cost of ownership calculator for SAM tools and the SAM operation, and we've been getting great results. So we work with customers to populate that table, and they put all the costs in that are going to be applied to a SAM service over 3 and 5 years, and it's really interesting in helping them shape the business case properly. So it makes them helps them in deciding what they actually need and understand how much it's actually going to cost over those 3 and 5 years.
What would you say, what are the latest trends in the SAM industry that every software license manager should be aware of?
Well, I mean, the obvious answer is cloud, but I think actually it's more about migration, which is moving from point A to point B. So cloud is an obvious one. You're moving from on-premise to software assets in the cloud. But increasingly, it's not just about that. Maybe it's moving from on-premise to a new kind of technology like robotics or artificial intelligence. So actually, the real thing that people need to think about is, how do I help my company migrate from one scenario or environment to another? And that could be the next thing that's coming down the line is actually cloud to cloud migrations. I mean, it's all very new, but what's going to happen when someone decides to move from Azure to AWS or from Salesforce to another CRM solution? That's stuff that's just starting to happening around us. So for me, it's all about migration, and which takes us away from maybe just counting the assets we have now, and a lot more about planning about how we actually help our company move to new environments.
So you're now one of the partners of the SAMS USA. What convinced you to be a partner?
Well, we're really keen to get our message across, and so partnering up with a company like yours is really helpful for us. The conference is in a great location, and the US market's really key for us, but the structure's great. There's a lot more interaction here. The World Cafe structure and the way that the meetings are scheduled mean that there's a lot more interaction with customers and customer to customer and even vendor to vendor discussions, so it's great. A lot of conferences we've been to, With other providers, maybe it's a little bit too static, so this is a really nice knowledge sharing kind of environment.
That's great to hear. Last but not least, if you could give only one advice to a company starting a SAM program, what would it be and why?
So I think the classic, going back to my remember it's all about governance point, is start with the end in mind. So you really have to understand where you're going before you start getting roped into buying solutions or tool sets or following a set path. The danger with the industry at the moment is there's this kind of well-trodden path where you do A, B, and C. I think the best thing for you if you're starting out in SAM is understand what your organisation wants, understand where they're going, and then build backwards. Work out what you need to get there, rather than just setting out, maybe talking to someone that's gone down the wrong path. Trust your instincts. You know your business better than the vendors do and the tool providers do.
Great. Thank you very much for taking your time for this interview, and I hope you enjoy the conference.
No, it's a pleasure. Great show.
Thank you.
Thanks.